everybody. All right. Oh, boy. I'm sweating from that. They say around the wave as me. There's even talking about you wanting me. I must admit that's what I wanna hear, but that's just talking till you take me there. Oh, if it's true, don't leave me alone out here, wondering if you're ever gonna take me there. Tell me what you're feeling, 'cause I need to know. Girl, you gotta let me know which way to go. I need to know, I need to know. Tell me, baby girl, 'cause I need to know, I need to know, I need to know. this one too. This one's really easy. They say around the way you've asked for me. There's even talk about you wanting me. Woohoo! I must admit this what I want to hear. But that's just talking till you take me there. Oh, if it's true, don't leave me all alone out here. Wondering if you're ever gonna take me there. Tell me what you're feeling, 'cause I need to know. Girl, you gotta let me know. Here's your part, come on. I need to know. I need to know. Tell me, baby girl, 'cause I need to know. I need to know. I need to know. Tell me, baby girl, 'cause I need to know. I need to know. Let me hear it. I need to know. Tell me, baby girl, 'cause I need to know. I need to know. I need to know. This is so easy. Tell me, baby girl, 'cause I need to go. I need to. That's it. Tell me, baby girl. I need to know. I need to know. Come over here, purple people. What are you doing? Come over here. Come over here. I need to know. I need to know. Oh, come on. Tell me, baby girl, 'cause I need to know. I need to know. You guys are snoozers. Tell me, kick it up, band, 'cause I need to know. I need to know. I need to know. Tell me, baby girl, 'cause I need to know. I need to know. I need to know. 2019. Looking back on when I was a little nappy-headed boy, then my only worry was at Christmas what would be my toy. Even though at sometimes when I get all bang, we were happy with the joy that they would bring, sneaking up the back door to hang out with those hoodlum friends of mine. We all know you did that. Greeted at the back door, the Lord, I told you not to go outside. Trying your best to bring the water to your eyes, thinking it might stop a woman you're behind. I wish those days could come back once more. I did those days, yeah, will have to go. I wish those days could come back once more. I did those days, yeah, will have to go. 'Cause I know I'm so. Let me see your dance moves, graduates. You got a dance on in here. Let's go. Brother says he's telling about you playing doctor with that girl. Just don't tell, I'll give you everything you want in this whole wide world. Mama gives you money for Sunday school. You trade yours for candy and the church's room. Smoking cigarettes and writing something nasty on the board. Nasty boy. Teacher sends you to the principal's office and down the hall. 'cause this is the power, yeah. Keep on with the force, don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the force, don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the force, don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the force, don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Let's dance, let's shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance, let's shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance, let's shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance, let's shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance, let's shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance, let's shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance, let's shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance. Somebody scream! With the force, don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the force, don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the force, don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the force, don't stop. Hey, don't stop till you get enough. Let's dance, let's shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance, let's shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance, let's shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance, let's shout. Shake your body down to the ground. People, keep on burning. Soldiers, keep on pouring. World, keep on turning. 'Cause it won't be too long. Powers, keep on lying. All your people, keep on dying. World, keep on turning. 'Cause it won't be too long. So long, Daddy, let me try it again. 'Cause my last time on earth I lived the whole world in sin. So glad that I know more than I do then. Gonna keep on trying till I reach my highest Wow, check this out. Teachers, what's up, teachers? Keep on teaching. Preachers, keep on preaching. World, keep on turning. 'Cause it won't be too long. Lovers, keep on loving.
Thank you. You've been listening to Joe Ferry and the Great Ska Band. Many of the band members are Purchase alumni. Let's take a moment to thank them. On lead vocals and keyboard, Dana Mancuso. On guitar, Kevin Byrne. On saxophone, Neil Spitzer. On drums, Dave Lewitt. And on bass, Professor Emeritus Joe Ferry. A dedicated group of our staff have worked for many months to organize and produce today's commencement. Led by Keisha Martin, Commencement Coordination Committee Chair, you will find all their names on page 52 in your program. I want to thank them all. It's a lot of work. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please remain standing? Brandon Vernon, or please stand. Brandon Vernon, candidate for the Bachelor of Music degree in Voice Performance. Are we ready? Brandon is a Bachelor of Music degree from the Conservatory of Music. Will sing the national anthem. Brandon has also chosen to sing Lift Every Voice and Sing. In accordance with protocol, the national anthem will follow. Brandon?
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us, facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare flare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good afternoon. Graduates of the class of 2019, parents, relatives, friends of the graduates, members of the faculty, staff, administration, and distinguished guests. I am Thomas Schwartz, President of Purchase College, State University of New York, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 47th Annual Commencement Exercises. Joining me on the dais are dignitaries, friends of the college, members of our various foundation boards, our deans, directors, and chairs, our faculty, our officers, and members of the College Council. I will introduce at this time members of the platform party who will not be introduced later in the ceremony. May I ask each as I introduce you to stand and to remain standing until all are introduced, and I request that the audience hold your applause until all have been recognized. Members of the Purchase College Council: Richard Nightingale, Paula Cancro, class of '79, Allison McCloat, President, Purchase College Student Government Association, Trustee and Chair of the Purchase College Foundation, Lucille Werlinick, Trustees of the Purchase College Foundation, Umran Beba, David Fleischer, class of '76, William Klingenstein, and Judith Riggs. Vice President for Student Affairs and Enrollment Management, Dennis Craig, who will beginning in August will serve as the college's interim president. Chief Financial Officer and Vice President of Operations, Judith Nolan. Vice President of Institutional Advancement, Executive Director of the Purchase College Foundation and Charitable Entities, Catherine Broad. Chief of Human Resources Officer, Kathleen Farrell. Chief Diversity Officer, Affirmative Action Officer, and Title IX Coordinator, Jarima DeWeese. Associate Provost for Academic Affairs and Associate Professor of Psychology, Peggy DeCook. Dean of Students, Patricia Bice. Dean of Enrollment Management, Caitlin Reed. Dean for Global Strategy and International Programs and Associate Professor of Film and Cinema Studies, Ann Kern. Acting Director of the Library, Vice President Secretary, the SUNY University Faculty Senate, Keith Landa. Director of the Newberger Museum of Art, Tracy Fitzpatrick. Director of the Performing Arts Center, Seth Soloway. University Faculty Senator and Associate Professor of Environmental Studies, Ryan Taylor. The Faculty Marshals. These are members from our outstanding faculty who will be retiring this year, and I want to recognize them for their long-term and long-lasting contributions and dedication to the college and its students. One of our retirees is serving as faculty marshal, professor of music, founder of the Jazz Studies program, which is celebrating its 25th anniversary, Doug Monroe. The Mace Carrier. One of our retirees is our Mace Carrier, Gary Waller. Distinguished Professor of Literature and Cultural Studies. Professor Waller served as provost from 1995 to 2004. I would also like to recognize the following faculty and staff members who are retiring: Andrea Anthony, Conservatory of Theater Arts; Professor Karen Baird, Political Science; John Mastraccio, School of Art and Design; Orlando Alvarez, Facilities. They all contributed greatly to our students and to the achievements of the college. Our New York University Police Color Guard: Police Officer John Brogal, Police Officer Francesco Di Costanzo, Police Officer Adrian Jordan, and Police Officer Emilio Rojas. Now please join me in welcoming all of the members of the Platform Party. Will our esteemed and talented faculty and staff who guided this class please stand? Will the parents, families, and friends of the graduates also stand for appropriate recognition? Now, the graduates, the degree candidates of 2019, will you please rise and be recognized? And now, in recognition of the fact that without each other, none of this would happen today, let's all rise and applaud each other. Congratulations. Congratulations on your commencement. Your graduation, your success after a long road. For more than half of you, it has been 4 years. For others, longer. I'm sure the road has not been easy. It's been filled with financial challenges, struggles, and often personal difficulties. But you are here, now ready to start the next chapter of your life. That's commencement. For me, this is also a commencement. This is the 18th graduation ceremony I have played my part in, and I too am leaving Purchase this summer and starting the next chapter of my life. Chairman H. Carl McCall of the State University Board of Trustees is with us today. Chairman McCall is also stepping down on June 30th. I will have more to say about the chairman later. As I look forward to the next chapter of my life, I thought I would share with you some of the personal guideposts I will use. I think they may be relevant to your next chapter. First, I will choose something I like, something that makes me feel good, maybe an institution or organization that is in trouble and needs help, but serves a good purpose. For you, it might be a step along the way to something you like and makes you feel good. And of course, the obligatory waiter job or gopher job that helps pay the rent while you pursue that position. But ultimately, what you choose should make you feel good. Next, I will recognize that there are often consequences to what appears inconsequential. There is practically no event in life, no matter how small, that may not have a big impact. The chance meeting becomes a lifetime relationship. A trip on one bus or subway results in a meeting with someone you would never have met had you been on the next bus. It is obvious after the fact, but never before the fact, that the inconsequential has been consequential. So I will treat each event as if it can have consequences. Next, I won't be afraid to fail. I will think through what is entailed in my next effort. I will do my homework, talk to other people, and when I have concluded that I understand whatever I am planning, I will not be afraid to fail when I jump in. You can follow the same path. If you are afraid to fail, you will remain stagnant. Next, I will get involved in my community. I don't have to be a leader, but if I don't get involved, I have no right to complain about the way things are. I will vote, and if I have time, join a not-for-profit organization that interests me, go help at a food pantry, volunteer at an animal shelter, if only for an hour or two a week. Pick something. You might even meet someone who turns out to be important in your life. It will make you feel good. I will treat everyone with respect and not assume friendships. If I don't pursue people, I won't assume they will pursue me. If you want to stay friends with those in your class, be active about it. You are all about to lead very different lives from each other, perhaps in different parts of the world. Friendships disappear if they are not actively pursued. Call, email, write, send a note, whatever technology you use, and remember dates. I will not assume my relatives know that I love them. I will say it. I will tell them how I feel, and if I'm angry or upset about something, I will get it out and not let it simmer. That would only make matters worse. I will admit when I'm wrong. I won't cover it up. The cover-up is always worse than the mistake. And finally, I won't compare myself to others. I will just do my best. You just do your best. And when I wake up in the morning and it's a beautiful day, I'll say thanks and smell the flowers. These principles will guide me in the next stage of my life. I hope you can find some guidance in them as well. And when you are out in the world, remember those who will follow you here at Purchase and see if you can help them succeed in their education. Over the years, I've often found both intelligence and wit in the speeches of President John F. Kennedy. Let me close this with a quote from him that speaks of the work of education that we have all been involved in here. Let us think of education as the means of developing our greatest abilities, because in each of us there is a private hope and dream which, fulfilled, can be translated into benefit for everyone and greater strength for our nation. Thank you. God bless you.
New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do. Now you're in New York. These streets will make you feel brand new. The lights will inspire you.
We are honored today to have with us the chairman of the State University of New York Board of Trustees, H. Cole McCall. Chairman McCall was appointed chairman on October 17, 2011, and has served on the Board of Trustees as a member since October 2007. Chairman McCall has had a distinguished career as a public servant. He served 3 terms as a New York State Senator, representing the Upper Manhattan District of New York City, as an ambassador to the United States, as a commissioner of the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, and as the commissioner of the New York State Division of Human Rights. Chairman McCall served as controller of the state of New York from May 1993 to December 2002. He has been a passionate advocate for public education. He served as president of the New York City Board of Education from 1991 to 1993, where he set policy for the largest school system in the nation as the chairman of the Public Higher Education Conference Board, a coalition of 14 member organizations which supports a strong and vibrant public higher education system in New York. He is the recipient of 9 honorary degrees. Please welcome Chairman McCall.
Thank you. Good morning. I am delighted to be here with the distinguished leaders, the faculty, the staff, the students, their families, elected officials, and guests. I'm honored to be here on behalf of the State University of New York's Board of Trustees and the entire university system to offer greetings and congratulations as we celebrate your graduation from Purchase. You know, this is truly a monumental event. Having so many people gathered here to celebrate such a joyous occasion, I would like to begin by acknowledging the stewards of Purchase College, the people who worked tirelessly to move the academic mission of this great institution forward. I would like to especially recognize President Thomas J. Schwartz, who has been an invaluable asset to the SUNY system and a guiding light to SUNY Purchase. President Schwartz, thank you for your tremendous leadership as our system has endeavored to provide quality, affordable public education. You have been an inspirational leader, and I would like to congratulate you for the tremendous esteem that you have garnered for this campus. You have made Purchase an outstanding institution. Today, of course, is bittersweet in many ways. After 17 years of phenomenal service, President Schwartz is transitioning to pursue other endeavors. I also hope that he will take this opportunity to enjoy a little R&R. His tireless leadership has certainly earned him that opportunity. You know, I think it's safe to say that whatever President Schwartz chooses to turn his sights after his departure, he will continue to stand as one of our nation's foremost proponents of educational opportunity and equity. It's almost impossible to describe the level of impact that Thomas Schwartz has had on SUNY Purchase. He has been an integral part of this institution in every way. From his establishment of the Think Wide Open branding campaign to his creation of the Broadview Senior Living Project, there are few, if any, ways that he has not elevated this institution. His presence in our lives has guaranteed that none of us will ever be the same. President Schwartz has been a vital contributor to the SUNY system, and he will be truly missed throughout the system. His dedication and ingenuity has helped to push SUNY's mission into the stratosphere. His incredible work ethic is second to none. President Schwartz, your efforts have meaningfully impacted the lives of hundreds of thousands of students. On a personal level, I have appreciated your friendship, and I could always come to you for advice. And you always came to me when you thought I needed advice. So today, I have the pleasure of relaying a message that was delivered to the Congress of the United States by Congress member Nita Lowey, who represents this district and serves as the chair of the House Appropriations Committee. She couldn't be here today, but she wanted me to read these words that she delivered to the Congress of the United States about President Swartz. This is what she said. Madam Speaker, I have to honor Thomas J. Swartz, president of the State University of New York, Purchase College, as the college honors him this month for his 17 years of distinguished leadership on the occasion of his retirement. Since Mr. Swartz was appointed as Purchase College's 5th president in 2003, the college has seen substantially improved retention and graduation rates. He prioritized social responsibility throughout his presidency. In 2007, he signed the American College and University President's Climate Commitment, expressing the sense that Purchase College would chart a course toward climate neutrality. In 2015, Purchase College constructed its first LEED gold-certified campus building and continues to renovate existing buildings with more energy-efficient technology. Mr. Swartz oversaw the development of the Broadview Senior Living Center, a senior living community on the Purchase College campus that will promise lifelong learning. Throughout his career, he was deeply committed to public service. He served as mayor of the Village of Ocean Beach, New York, special counsel to the New York State Commission on Government Integrity, chief judge to the Commission to Promote Public Confidence in Judicial Integrity, and counsel to the Governor's Judicial Screening Program. The Legal Aid Society recognized him with its Pro Bono Award in 1998. Madam Speaker, I urge my fellow members of Congress to join me in expressing thanks to Mr. Swartz for his many years of outstanding public service. These words were delivered to the Congress of the United States on behalf of President Swartz. And I have here the actual declaration. And I want to give it to him as we stand and give him a standing ovation for his dedication, his service, and his leadership. And now a word to the graduates, the class of 2019. You are going out into an uncertain world, but a world that needs your leadership, that needs your dedication, that needs your involvement. You have been well prepared for that task. You are the leaders, the innovators. You are the people who will change the world, make it better, make it safe, make it sound, make it green. Go out and change the world. Class of 2019, God bless and Godspeed.
Thank you. I appreciate Chairman McCall. I appreciate the honor and the words. And I thank Congresswoman Lowey for her effort. Hopefully there'll be more effective resolutions coming out of the United States Congress in the days ahead. And now, on that subject, I am now pleased to introduce an honored guest and a regular attendee at our commencement, here today to congratulate the graduating class of 2019, our senior United States Senator from New York and Senate Minority Leader Charles Schumer.
jungle where dreams are made of.
Just stay here a minute.
There's nothing you can't do. Now you're in New York.
We're going to give the same speech.
I just want to
These
say one
streets
thing
will
about
make you feel brand new. These lights will inspire you.
Maybe we're supposed to
Let's
dance.
hear it for New York.
You have to ask
New
permission to
York,
touch me these days.
New York.
Before he sits down, I too want to add my congratulations. When he took over SUNY Purchase, it was a good institution. He has made it a great institution, not only one of the best in New York, but one of the best in the country. Job well done. I mean it. You lost weight. And I see he has a new look as he moves forward. Well, it's great to be here to address everyone on the platform, the friends and families of the graduates, but most of all, you, the class 2019 SUNY Purchase. Congratulations! Now, first, I'd like to announce my class gift. As you know, it's hard to pay for college. If you're poor, the federal government helps you out. That's a good thing. But what about the middle class? So a few years ago, I wrote a law that said you or your parents, whoever paid for college, could take as a full tax credit $2,500 off your federal taxes for every year of college, provided, in Washington, there's always a provided your family income is below $200,000 a year. So, if you come from a family that makes below $200,000, make sure you or mom or dad, whoever paid for college, takes that credit. It's still relatively new, and about a quarter of all the people last year who were entitled to it didn't take it. If you forgot, you can fill out a simple one-page form with the IRS and get up to 3 years back, a check for $7,500 in the mail. Not a bad class gift. Now, what happens if you come from a family? What happens if you come from a family that makes above $200,000 a year? God bless you. I am also, by the way, working on legislation that will reduce your student debt burden after you get out of college. Our goal, with bipartisan support, is to make sure no graduate ever has to devote more than a small percentage of their income towards repaying their loans. It's past time Congress tackled this student loan problem. Now a brief word to the parents. I know how you feel. A few short years ago, my wife Iris and I sat where you did, watched our daughter Allison get her diploma, and it was one of the greatest days of our lives. You've been through a lot as parents. It's not easy raising kids. But now, as you get to watch all of your blood and sweat and tears pay off, as your son or daughter walks onto the stage and gets their diploma and becomes an adult before your very eyes, you know it was worth it. Congratulations to the moms and dads. And now to this great class of 2019. All of the late nights in the library, early mornings in the classroom, have earned you a degree from this great institution. And it's good that you have it, because the world into which you're graduating is moving so very, very fast. This is an era of profound economic and social change. In the old days, when you graduated from college, the odds were pretty high you'd have the same job in the same field for 40 years. That's not true anymore. Many of you will have several jobs, several careers. Along with these economic changes, the internet has put so much information at our fingertips, it's sometimes hard to figure out what's important and to distinguish what's true and what isn't. Voices get the most attention. And a generation ago, things like terrorist attacks, mass shootings were never heard of. Now, it feels like every week brings a new tragedy. So there's a lot going on in the world, some good and some not so good. But the good news is this: your generation is better equipped than any other that came before it to adapt to these changes, to overcome the obstacles the changes present, and seize the opportunities they afford. Right now, though, sitting in your seats, you may not be sure of what comes next. With so much of the world changing around you, it may feel sometimes like you're jumping into an abyss. But the key, graduates, is not to fear the unknown. Embrace it, relish it, soak up every possibility it has to offer. How do I know? Because I remember feeling that way myself when I was your age. I went to James Madison High School in Brooklyn, New York. Go Madison. It was then a working-class high school, but from there I was lucky enough to get into Harvard. In those days, no one from my background got into Harvard. It was filled with people from the fancy New England private schools. I was the son of an exterminator who never went to college, and I went to public school in Brooklyn long before Brooklyn was cool. So, I was scared. I was really scared, and I went to the one guy who had graduated from my high school before me, Red O'Brien. We had both played on the school's basketball team. When I asked Red how to make it at college, he told me very matter-of-factly, "Try out for the freshman basketball team. They're terrible, just like Madison's. So you'll make the team easily, and those will be your friends." He did have a point. Our team's motto at Madison on the basketball team was, "We may be small, but we're slow." Well, fast forward to the first week at school tryouts. We're wearing these little numbers. The coach calls me up. "Number 27, yes, sir." "You're Schumer." "Yes, sir." "Oh, you played for Madison." "Yes, sir." "How's Coach so-and-so?" "He's fine, sir." Then he looked at me quizzically. He said, "You played forward?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "How tall are you?" I said, "I'm 6'1", sir." He said, "Can you dribble?" I said, "That's not my strong suit, sir." He said, "Go home." He didn't even watch me touch a basketball. Well, I was distraught. I thought basketball would be my ticket through this strange new place. I wrote a note to my mom. I said, "It's only 2 weeks into school. I'm a flop already. I'm coming home." And I started to pack up my things. But as fate would have it, as I was packing late that night, somebody knocked on my door. Who could it be? Was it my parents coming to take me home? Nope. Was it the basketball coach coming to give me a second chance? Nope. I turned the door nervously, and there, across the threshold, was someone who said, "I'm from the Harvard Young Democrats. We're working for a man named Eugene McCarthy, who's for ending the war in Vietnam," which was raging at the time. I didn't have a political bone in my body. My father was a Republican, my mother a Democrat, but I had lost some friends in the Vietnam War and was worried about the future of my country. And so I did something that changed the course of my life forever. I shrugged my shoulders when he asked would I come join the Young Democrats, and I said, "Okay." The next morning, I went out with this group of kids. We got on a bus, went up to the Boston area, left Boston and went up to New Hampshire, and I had a great time. It was like sports. We were a team. We divided up neighborhoods and knocked on doors. We made up our own leaflets. And over the next few months on the snowy streets of New Hampshire, working for an insurgent political campaign, I was bitten by the political bug. Maybe it was luck. Maybe it was God's hand. But in that moment of intense anxiety and uncertainty about the future, I took a leap and said, "Okay," to something new and completely different, and it enriched my life forever. Thanks to the McCarthy campaign, I realized how much I loved politics, how deeply I cared about the impact it had on people. McCarthy didn't win the primary, but he came so close that the incumbent president, Lyndon Johnson, stepped down after just one term in office. A ragtag group of students and other assorted nobodies changed the course of the world. I thought to myself, what a system, what a country. I was inspired. And I decided then and there, I wanted to dedicate my life to making the world a better place. Just as so many of you are doing just that, whether it comes to climate or social or economic justice, and God bless you for it. Well, yeah, you deserve applause for that. With me, I changed my major from chemistry to politics, went to law school, and ran for the state assembly at age of 23. Lo and behold, to everyone's surprise, including my mother's, I won. And the rest, as they say, is history. So graduates, on this great day of your achievement, my advice to you, take the risk. Follow your passion. You know, for those of us who have gotten older and we look back on life, one of the most painful things to think about is what I call the what ifs. What if I'd only done that? What if I'd only gone there? In life, there will always be moments that present new opportunities and change the course of things forever. They won't be advertised as such. No one's going to label them for you when they appear. And sometimes they're as unassuming as a late night knock on the door. You just need to keep your eyes open to them. So my message to this great class of 2019 is very simple. Go for it. You're about to cast off into the unknown. Sometimes it can seem really scary, but you've got great assets, a great education here at Purchase, loving families who will always have your back through thick and thin. So, garner up your strength, garner up your courage, put aside your doubts, take a chance. And if you do, it's my hope, my prayer, and indeed my confidence, you will find great success and great joy in life. To this great class of 2019, congratulations. Good luck. Godspeed, and don't forget, go for it. No girl in your line. Call me. Sit down. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
To the class of 2019, my name is Kevin Collymore, and I'm the president of the Purchase College Alumni Association. On behalf of our board, I want to be the first person to say welcome to the newest class of the Alumni Association of Purchase. On behalf of my fellow Purchase alums in the audience today and around the world, one thing I can assure you throughout your journey is that you will meet a Purchase College alum throughout your tenure. So as Senator Schumer says, please keep your eyes open at all times. Please stay engaged with each other, stay connected to the college, and also you're always your beloved alma mater. Now it is time to honor one of our own distinguished alums, class from the It's time to honor one of our distinguished alums from the class of 1981.
It is the tradition of the Academy to honor individuals of preeminence, influence, and service within their chosen fields through a variety of means. For example, the honorary doctorate awarded by the Board of Trustees of the State University as a whole recognizes individuals for a significant body of life's work, unparalleled accomplishments, and/or generous and sustained service to society. A President's Award for Distinguished Alumni honors distinguished alumni whose demonstrated excellence and significant contributions within their chosen fields reflects on the quality of their educational experience at Purchase. The audience will find brief descriptions of today's honorees on pages 8 and 9 in the commencement program. Kevin Collymore, will you please assist me with the presentation of the President's Award for Alumni Achievement and join me at this time. The recipient of the 2019 President's Award for Distinguished Alumni is Ina Mayhew. Ina, will you please join us? We are honored to present you with this citation, which reads, Ina Mayhew, Distinguished Alumnus, Whereas you received a BFA in theater design as a member of the Purchase College class of 1981. Whereas influenced by your talented and artistic parents, you started college as a fine arts major, but found your passion for production design, working closely with your professors, and later finding work as an assistant in New York, regionally and internationally. Whereas after college, your first feature film, Sidewalk Stories, for which you were the art director, with writer, director, and Purchase classmate Charles Lane, went on to win 12 awards, including the Audience Award at the 1990 Cannes Film Festival. Whereas since then, you have worked on more than 25 feature films, a dozen television shows, and numerous commercials, music videos, plays, and more, working with such notable directors and producers as Spike Lee and Malcolm D. Lee, Ava DuVernay, Tyler Perry, and with such companies as Netflix, Warner Brothers, MGM, Lionsgate, New Line, 40 Acres and a Mule, BET, HBO, MTV, Universal, PBS, and Island Pictures. Whereas your most recent projects are a testament to your range as an artist, as you designed the soon-to-air Dolly Parton Heartstrings for Netflix, the fourth season of Queen Sugar for Oprah Winfrey's network, the Renee Fleming Christmas special for PBS, the MTV series Teen Wolf, the comedy film Barbershop in the Cut, and a music video starring Beyoncé and Jay-Z. I knew that would get them. Whereas in 2016, you were invited to become a voting member of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences and are a proud member of two craft unions, the United Scenic Artists, Film and Television Designers, and the Art Directors Guild. Whereas you have been responsible for creating visual worlds for some of today's leading directors and producers as a pioneer in a field where few women and even fewer women of color have been able to succeed. Whereas you pay it forward as an educator and mentor, particularly at your alma mater, where you have been teaching annual classes in production design since 2005 and have actively helped Purchase graduates find work in your field. Now, therefore, do I, Thomas J. Schwartz, President, on behalf of the faculty, students, and staff of Purchase College, State University of New York, proudly recognized Ina Mayhew, recipient of the Purchase College President's Award for Distinguished Alumni, presented on the 17th day of May, 2019. Congratulations.
Okay, first of all, I am behind the scenes and never in front of the camera, so I'm completely nervous. But I am humbled and grateful for this honor. I thank you. I come from a family of artists. My parents, both painters, taught me to paint and draw, but my passion for theater began when I was very young. My mother introduced me to theater, and she took my brother and me to local theater productions in New York City. She also encouraged me to pursue theater design. My dad took me backstage at the Metropolitan Opera, where the gigantic painted scenery thrilled this young girl. And he also introduced me to the legendary Woody King Jr., who gave me my first theater design job. My brother has been my design collaborator since we were young, and my husband has been also a filmmaker, has been through the toughest part of my journey. When I graduated from Purchase College, I knew I was well-trained. My professors were talented as both artists and instructors. It was and is a rigorous program, as you know. The greatest of the many benefits of Purchase were the friendships that grew and the support we gave each other. Eventually, we worked together as professionals and hired each other. And together we created a family of designers and technicians that became known, sometimes lovingly, sometimes not, as the Purchase Mafia. We became all sorts of designers, in my case, a film designer. Now, as you heard, I teach production design at Purchase each year, and I hire my own students, and they're working with me now. I believe in their talent, and I believe in their training. My first opportunity, in fact, was given to me by my friend and colleague, classmate here at Purchase College with the director, let me just take this off, Director Charles Lane. His was, as you heard, lucky first film to work on. It went on to win several awards, including the Cannes Award. Still, the journey to becoming a production designer was unpredictable. It was hard. There were times when I felt like I might not succeed. Not surprisingly, there were moments when people had doubts that as a woman, I had what it takes to do the job. But I trusted in my training, and I stubbornly powered through. I knew I could be a successful designer. I just needed someone to give me a shot. One who did early on was Spike Lee, and also, as you heard, I'm privileged to work with Ava DuVernay. But there are many others who I'm indebted to. My experience taught me to value and champion gender and racial diversity, but more than anything else, it has taught me to value people who bring talent and a positive attitude to their job. So, to the Purchase graduating class of 2019, I say congratulations on this your graduation day. I also say this, never give up. Never, ever, never, ever give up. It can be done. I did it. You can do it. We expect great things from each of you. Thank you.
We will now proceed to the awarding of an honorary degree. I've asked Chairman McCall to assist me. Chairman, will you join me at the podium? Our honorary degree recipient is Fred Douglas Wilson. Would you please join us at the podium? Fred Douglas Wilson, you are an internationally renowned artist confronting assumptions of history, culture, and race, challenging viewers to reconsider social and historical narratives. Your work has had a profound influence in New York, the nation, and beyond. In 1999, you received the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Genius Grant Award, and in 2003, represented the United States at the prestigious 50th Venice Biennale. You attended Purchase College, where you received a BFA in Visual Arts as a member of the class of 1976, becoming one of the very first graduates of the college. At Purchase, you were inspired by your cross-disciplinary experience to, in your words, combine performance, community engagement, sculpture, and painting, history, and anthropology. Since your groundbreaking and historically significant exhibition, Mining the Museum, which presented in 1992 at the Maryland Historical Society, you have been the subject of many important solo exhibitions which have continued to push boundaries. Your experience of working at several of New York City's major museums helped inform your work, leading to Guarded View, a series of headless black mannequins in guard uniforms, which you displayed in the Whitney Museum's 1994 exhibition, Black Male: Representations of Masculinity in Contemporary American Art. Your work can be found in several public collections, including the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art, the Tate Modern in London, the Museum of Modern Art in New York, and the Whitney Museum of American Art. When your work was presented in a critically acclaimed exhibition at the Neuberger Museum of Art in 2017, you engaged the whole campus community, including the students who assisted you with research, the professors and students who studied your work in their classrooms, and thousands of visitors to your exhibition, all of whom became active participants in a public discourse on art and community. In recognition of your outstanding contributions to art and culture, your service to New York State, and your commitment to furthering important conversations about race and history, the State University of New York, through Purchase College, bestows upon you the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts. Fred Douglass Wilson, by virtue of the authority vested in me, the faculty of the State University of New York concurring, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts, honoris causa, and I invest you with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereunto. In token thereof, I present you with this diploma and direct that you be vested with the hood appropriate to your degree.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Has actually something in it, unlike what we did then.
All right. Yes. It's real. Okay. Well, I am thrilled to receive this honor. Working as I do in various countries and within various communities and museums around the world, I do look back at my time at Purchase as a foundational moment where I was able to dream and dream big. It was a place where I felt creativity and creatively anything was possible. Where curiosity was encouraged and going beyond the borders of academic and artistic disciplines, this was my norm. This is how I approached the world after college. However, the world was a different place back then. As a young artist, it was a place where age, race, and class were barriers few could move beyond within the art world. Invisibility was my foe. But eventually, it became my friend, allowing me to see the world as it was. It propelled me to reveal through my art the unspoken, the unfair, the unconsidered, and especially the unknown. I was unafraid to create beautiful things in service to meaning and arresting juxtapositions, both serious and sometimes humorous. For the graduates, I know your experience at Purchase will affect your career, but also your personal goals tremendously. I hope that this end of one glorious stage in your life only paves the way for the next glorious stage in your life, and the next one after that. The great gift of the Purchase experience was that it gave me the tools and the freedom to make whatever I wanted to make, think complexly, and explore in every direction. Purchase College has bestowed on me the perfect soft armor to conquer the world. And it is for this I am forever grateful. 2019, go out there and conquer the world.
It is now my pleasure to introduce the 2019 senior class speaker, Anaya Brannan. Anaya is a studio composition major from the Conservatory of Music, a native New Yorker from the Bronx and Queens. She's been an active participant on campus as a resident assistant and performer at numerous campus events. Please join me in welcoming to the podium commencement senior class speaker, Anaya Brannan.
You're... Ever since I was a child, my end goal that I was constantly striving towards was getting into college. My mom had a plan for me that started as early as the first grade. Build a strong work ethic by doing my homework the minute I got home from school. No TV, no playtime until it was all done. Work diligently in middle school to get into the best New York City public high school possible. That worked. I earned a spot at the prestigious Townsend Harris High School. Once in high school, joined every extracurricular activity in order to be the most well-rounded applicant to prospective institutions. I was a cheerleader, choreographer, and performer in musical productions. I even played the clarinet, really badly, in the school band. Then take all honors and AP courses. I took a semester's worth of classes at Queens College during my senior year of high school. Finally, apply to my dream university, get in, and ride off into the sunset with a full scholarship. As with most best-laid plans, this did not happen. During the college application process, I realized that in spite of my efforts, I had no idea what I wanted to pursue. The only thing I loved, songwriting and performing, didn't seem like a feasible option, and I didn't think I was good enough to audition to any conservatories. I hadn't even heard of Purchase before I applied, but I knew I had to be doing something. I'll never forget the day that I chose to come here. It was late spring. All my friends had already committed to their colleges, and I had pushed my decision to the last minute, something I've learned I may not ever grow out of. I decided to class with my dad and drive up to Purchase. I hear stories of students instantly feeling at home the minute they step foot onto a college campus. I'll be honest, I never felt that. Between the dirt brown brick buildings and the ever-present construction going on at every turn, Purchase didn't exactly make the best first impression. After our campus tour, my dad pushed me to go into the music building and asked to be shown around. I heard opera majors practicing their scales from down the hall, and a trumpet in the distance warming up. I pictured myself writing songs at each piano I passed and recording them in the studios. I ran into a studio comp student from Indiana who raved about his major, telling me no other program in the country had what Purchase had. Afterward, my dad and I stopped for a bite at the Hub. That's when I realized I had the answer I needed. I'll be honest, it wasn't Hub food. Purchase was going to be right for me because I had another end goal to work for, getting into the music program. This meant entering as an undeclared major since I'd missed the deadline to audition. It turned out to be a blessing in disguise. My time as an undeclared student gave me so many memories I'm incredibly grateful for. I got to volunteer at the Loft, an LGBTQ center in White Plains. In my gen ed courses, I met sociology, anthropology, computer science, art history, and psych majors, all as passionate about their work as I was about my music. I floated between OPIA, Organization of African Peoples in the Americas, and Latinos Unidos meetings, trying to befriend as many people who looked like me as I could. Midway through my freshman year, I auditioned for the conservatory and got in, but wouldn't be allowed to take a full class schedule until the following year. This left me with a lot of time to grapple with anxieties about being behind and not feeling good enough. I realized I struggle with intense imposter syndrome. How did I get into the conservatory? How did I even get into college? What the hell was I doing? These thoughts haunted me even more during my sophomore year as I struggled through ear training, music theory, and piano with freshmen, while all my classmates who had started in the conservatory whizzed by without a second thought. In the midst of this academic and emotional turmoil, I decided to apply to be an RA. In the conservatory, you spend 24/7 over 4 years with one group, in my case, the same 7 people. Getting out of the conservatory bubble reconnected me to the rest of Purchase that wasn't trapped inside a piano lab. Living on the 3rd floor of Outback during my junior year and overseeing my residents taught me that you can't pour from an empty cup. I had to learn how to take care of myself in order to take care of my residents. I'm still good friends with a lot of my residents to this day because our relationship was symbiotic, and for that, I'm thankful. Purchase has given me so many gifts. This college made me feel seen for the first time in my life. I felt important and supported through all my struggles here because this community makes it a priority to do so. For a lot of us, Purchase makes us feel loved in a way that we might not get at home. Growing up between Queens and the Bronx, I thought I had a good idea of what diversity was. But coming here and being surrounded by new people and cultures gave me such a deeper appreciation for those around me. Whether it's events in the Multicultural Center hosted by HAPA, Humans of Asian and Polynesian Ancestry, or seeing a good friend trying drag for the first time during fall ball, Purchase is an incubator for love, respect, and growth. Theodore Roosevelt once said, "Do what you can with what you have where you are." This quote has been on my vision board for a year, but on my heart for all 4 of my years here. Getting accepted at Purchase felt like a lucky strike, but I was accepted because I was meant to be here. Becoming an RA felt like the financial aid gods were just throwing me a bone, but I got it because I love Purchase and I'm good at my job. Getting into the conservatory felt like a fluke, but I got in because I'm a damn good songwriter and I work hard. Yes. I felt completely unprepared for every single good thing that's happened to me in the past 4 years. I just did what I could with what I had where I was. And now, for the first time, I have no end goal for this next chapter of my life. That scares me more than anything. Maybe I'll help bring the arts to my old neighborhood in the South Bronx. Maybe I'll win a Grammy. Maybe I'll get to tour and see places I've only seen in pictures. I really don't know. But I do know that I'm going to keep striving because that's the type of person Purchase has taught me and has taught all of us to be. I know I'll still be able to lean on my comrades. Even though they may no longer be down the hall, they'll always be a call away, encouraging me to continue to think wide open. I'm sad to be finishing this journey without a couple of lives that we started it with, but I know that the class of 2019 is about to do some crazy big things and make us all proud. That's more than my first grade self could have ever asked for. Thank you.
Thank you, Anaya. That was wonderful. We will now proceed with the conferring of degrees. Mr. President, as Provost of Purchase College, I have the honor, on behalf of the administration, faculty, and staff, to present to you the college's 2019 degree candidates, and I ask, with great pride, that you confer upon them the degrees which they have earned and to which they are entitled. I would respectfully invite Elizabeth Robertson, member of the Purchase College Council, to join you in the presentation of the degrees. And assisting Elizabeth Robertson is presiding officer of the faculty and chair of the College Senate and associate professor of theater design technology, Dan Hanessian. The deans will introduce the chairs and directors who will welcome the candidates from their respective schools and conservatories. The names of the candidates will be read by Pamela Prather, Associate Professor of Theater and Performance in the Conservatory of Theater Arts, and Andrew Solomon, Associate Professor of Journalism in the School of Humanities. This is a very important day for our graduates. I ask that students, faculty, staff, and family members please remain seated until all graduates' names have been read. Please do not allow your cheers to drown out the name of the next candidate. Today we celebrate a Purchase tradition, the passing of the brick, a symbol of Purchase and the achievements of our students. The brick is now awarded to a graduating senior who has made an outstanding contribution to the quality of student life throughout their Purchase tenure. By returning the brick, the values of leadership, service, involvement, and positive change are gifted forward to the next class of graduates. In a little while, one of your classmates, Abigail McCarthy, will hand the class of 2019 brick back to President Schwartz when she comes up to receive her diploma. It is now my pleasure to introduce Lorenzo Candelaria, Dean of the School of the Arts.
Director of Art and Design, Christopher Robbins, will you help welcome to the stage the degree candidates in Art and Design? Mr. President, on behalf of the Faculty of Art and Design, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts and Bachelor of Science.
Hassani Brown. Nicole Patricia Abel. Gabriel Alexandra Adams. Sophia A. Agati. Zaire E. Anderson. Sky Evan Baptiste. April Renee Bedurka. Emily Nicole Botner. Sebastian Castano. Brandon Louise Gamboni. Sophia Evelyn Gell. Jerome John Giorlando. Magnus Emilius Gitt Henderson. Sarah Good. Megan E. Greenfeld. Sabrina Gregorowicz. Susanna Chinchilla. Damien Colavito. Danielle Ming Comer. Sebastian Cordero Bravo. Serene Crawford. Ross Sheen Dinner. Matthew Allen DeWaters. Julia Ann Dinky. Lily Georgette Ferron. Brittany Francis. Dalia Francis. Gabrielle Hoffman. Jay Hugh. Jack Ching. Anne Jaco. Madison Janetsky. Justino William Johnson. Nicholas Jared Lamarca. Trent Lover. Alexandra Hudson Lazar. Selena Lozano. Eric Knowles. Ashley Lynn Luciano. David A. Martins. Gio Martin. Casey McCarthy. Suki Mary McCarthy. Anthony G. McDonald. Audrey McGrath. David Andrew McLaughlin. Natalia Mary Mendez. Yoko Mochizuki. Luis Antonio Minaya. Raina Nichols. Samantha No. Brianna Oceani. Theodora M. Pecoroni. Kayla Marie Persing. Danielle Margaret Reed. Angelina Real. Eric Rollin Resendez. Janice Riccio. Karen Rivera. Nathaniel Joshua Rojas. Shira Bridget Ryan. Danisa Santos. Julio Santos. Noah Alexander Schmitz. Alana Marie Claudia Sears. Samuel Avery Sheen. Christopher Del Mundo Soles. Gawan Song. Trina May Talisik. Gloria Tuit. Nyasia Simone Vandross. Leonardo Vasquelos O'Neill. Ramsey Felipe Vasquez. Alanis Vulpes. Katie Rose Wiebeck. Sasha Jessie Williams. Nana Akosua Achampong. Augusta Gabriel Antel. Jacqueline Bellamy. Samantha Taylor Brinkley. M.D. Bronson. Samantha Alexis Coffey. Brandy Marlena Eby. Carly Marie Forstieri. Jacqueline Maureen Perna. Hannah Sheehan. Kai Kwan Sun. Molly A. Tabirzi. Oliver Vestal.
Mr. President, on behalf of the Faculty of Art and Design, I now have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Master of Fine Arts.
Emily Nicole Culbertson. Alessia Reggiani. Okay, good. That's better. No, it's good. It's good.
Mr. President, on behalf of the Faculty of Arts Management and Entrepreneurship, I have the honor to welcome and present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Director of Liberal Studies and Arts Management and Entrepreneurship, Trudy Milburn, will you help welcome to the stage the degree candidates in Arts Management and Entrepreneurship?
Walter Adrian Eocida Bonilla. Shazeb Al-Kamash. David Anastratov. Dexicarline Caballero. Jordan Corman. Sarah Michelle DeLeo. Kristen Michelle Finken. Emily Rachel Goldstein. Jared Luis Gorky. Robert John Reddington. Sydney Deborah Gottesman. Kelly Hayes. Angela Marie Gali. Elise Noela Garcia. Cara Marie Chinchone. Janae Alexis Cornwell. Luke Patrick Wright. Madeline Sophia Luke. Vasiliki Roberto Lebo. Ian Michael Tock. Caitlin Ann Schmeling. Delaney Elizabeth Goldman. Carly A. Miller. Alexandra Nike Capizola. John Neil Mastro Berardino. Angelina A. Medina. Jonathan Bradley Mohan. Adam Patrick Brown. Spencer David Moon. Sura Kazuko Ono. Natalie Peña. Manuel Wilfrido Prieda Jr. Damian Rainford. Christina Adele Cuoca. Jorge C. Portero. Tyler Jacob Katz. Craig Browning. James Cornejo Rica. Roscoe Rivera. Michael Sofer. Autumn Dowry Steele. Julian Ethan Torres Vera. Ryan Wu. M.A. Aleta Nicole Brown. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Wait.
So, Mr. President, on behalf of the Faculty of Arts Management, I now have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Masters of Arts.
Aleta Nicole Brown. Blake Lawrence File. Yep, got you.
Director of Dance, Nellie Van Bommel-Selnicker. Will you help welcome to the stage the degree candidates in dance? Mr. President, on behalf of the Faculty of Dance, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts.
Tara Elizabeth Youngman. Megan Lee Ahern. Kaylin Nicole Altvater. No. Boston Bryn Ajian. Annika Erin Bellman. Paige Adriana Bodner. Sarah Botero. Antonio Carlos Brady. Haley Joanna Clark. Claire Margaret Cordano. Montana Elise Dalton. Christina Elena Diaz. Aaron Dooley. Myra Donis. Cueva Venza Ernest. Erica Ray Fawcett. Emily Christine George. Alexandra Gologorskaya. Eriomar Gonzalez. Joya Elena Grasso. Dorshell M. Hawk. Jenny Gail Hurahi. Noella Gabriela Hauptman Anderson. Leo Justin Hishikawa. Deva M. Weska. Brandy Jones. Devin Rose Lowe. Una Grace Ludvigsen. Rachel Marie Martins. Mary Elizabeth Massa. Riley Kate McShannick. Bailey Ann Muchler. Paige Brianne Nelson. Xingyi Pong. Lynette Corina Paz. Kaylee O.P. Jean Pearsall. Sorry, one second. Calliope Jean Pearsall. Taylor Copeland Railton. Madeline Salhani. Sabrina Alicia Silverman. Carmel Antonio Wade Small. Tony Tacos. Catherine Elizabeth Taylor. Pascal Yusel Grimm. Morgan Lee Wade. Samara Sarai Williams. Cassidy Louise Pearl Willocks.
It's now my pleasure to introduce Ross Daly, Interim Dean of the School of the Arts and Sciences.
Augustine Zarzosa, Chair of Film and Media Studies, will you help welcome to the stage the degree candidates in Film and Media Studies? Mr. President, on behalf of the Faculty of Film and Media Studies, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Fine Arts.
Aaron S. McKenna. Alex Lucas Silver. Brianna Antonazzo. Chelsea G. Baltazar. Caitlin Benitez. Kirei Lee Bethel. Devin Anthony Blake. Percy Boyd, rather. Logan Riley Brenner. Francis Luis Bruno. Nimari Amber Castillo. Bianca Maria Cavallo. Andrea Cholula. Pablo Andres Cortez. Jonathan Costa. Jonathan Taylor Dalton. Ileana De La Rosa. Anna Esme Ferguson. Mackenzie M. Hudicki. De Juan Jontai Encarnacion. Connor Dunn. Madeline Sophia Luke. Ian Philance. Jared Michael Gauthier Snipe. Dylan James Gethicker. Avery Goodwin. Paul Anthony Hoti. Emma Griffiths. Wisdom Asia Johnson. Brandon Hernandez. Gabriela Valdez. Caitlin Golbiowski. Elijah James. Victoria Lynn Kelly. Christian Schlicht. Emma Elizabeth Grace Schickel. Kristen Michelle Finkton. Haley Elizabeth Herman. Leo Desmond Joseph. Nicole Alexandra Kaoris. Danilo Corriton. Amar Kareem. Greta Spray Keating. Julia S. Koifman. Joseph Lagano. Elena Lowe McKinney. Grayson Albert Lazarus. Leonardo Maniscalchi. Joseph Mastrolembo. Louisa McDougall. Martin Robert McNicholas. Takashi Mukoda. Gabrielle Morgan Nelson. Aisha Nembard. Arthur Davis Knight. Dwayne J. Olson. Brian Michael O'Neill. Evan A. Pochon. Anthony Keola Palmbianchi. Carolyn Janace. Laura Jean Papanakos. Bree D. Person. Troy Kenneth Peterson. Sarah Parabati Ramsawak. Timothy Joseph Redmond. Felipe Lima Reyes. Camilo A. Reyes. Monica Ring. Tony H. Rizarro. Juan Ermitano Rodriguez. Julia Stephanie Rose. Michelle Fern Rosenberg. Mia Sanchez. Joshua Matthew Sandler. Danielle Sarubi. Susanna Rose Scorsia. Taylor Simon. Alexandra Helen Slagle. Gabriel Orlando Spencer. Shannon Lee Swiatokwitz. Andrew P. Tater. Daisy Elvira Tejeda. Nicholas Umpierrez. Amy Velasquez. Anna Velasquez. Samantha C. Vitabile. Teresa Ida Wheeler. Ryan John Ardito. Tabitha Ann Barnett. Nandi Carson. Nandi Kaysen. Lucas S. Chin. Najaya Zeri Combs. David Frank Corbett. Jamal DeGraff. Mariales Diaz. Aaron Ashley Flynn. Yasmin Rahoda Josea. Gabriela Alejandra Medrano. Elizabeth Ann Mailing. Devin Narain Singh. Jake Spencer Nocerino. Gabriel Azevedo Oliveira. Rachel Adele Palacino. Christopher Reagan. Andrew J. Rodriguez. Christopher Edward Shadbolt. Joshua Bendilin Smearman. Katie Marie Stevens.
Chair of Humanities, Aviva Taubenfeld, will you help welcome to the stage the degree candidates in humanities? Mr. President, on behalf of the Faculty of Humanities, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Christina T. Balch. David P. Adler. Annalise Clements Andre. Shara Antar. Samantha Elaine Bartool. Cameron Bish. Shayna Blatt. Nicole Lorraine Brennan. Curtis D. Brodner. Eric Graham Brooks. Kate Brown. Shamika Tamara Buchanan. Molly Catherine Byron. Noah Evan Chestnut. Caleb Dondi Clark. Megan Barrett. Akira M. Collins Hill. Ella Margaret Corcoran. Rachel Domo. Alexandra Cavani dos Santos. Brittany Ann Esposito. Yeah. Ashley Amani Fields. Sorry. Chris D. Gittner. Janae Grant. Ethan James Gresco, my man. Emma Griffiths. Emily Louise Hargatai. Nicole Andrea Alcindor. Mina Alicia Guadalupe. Peter John Haralock. Carlos M. Hillocks. Haven Eliza Holliday. M. Hampton. Eleanor Quinlan Hotele. Marcus Anthony Jameson. Kiana Bernice Livingston. Taylor Johnson. Alexandra Elizabeth Johnson. Anna Corbett. Shakisa Levine. Elijah Ezel Logan. Shannon Elizabeth McGrain. Chanel Ann McLean. Brianne McEwen. Jameson Lynn Murcott. Patricia Ann Murphy. Kyle Joseph Noguera. Una Juliette O'Brien. Danielle Sarubi. Oliver Vestal. John Neil Mastro Berardino. Matthew Joseph Rebuffo. Grayson Albert Lazarus. Jared Lewis Gorky. Damn it. Anne Rose Panatello. Caitlin Marie Pillig. Patrick Preziosi. Shanice Liza Ramirez. Sasha Jennifer Ray. Jack Connor Riley. Mary Grace Reesman. Tabitha Elizabeth Rosado. Gabriela Elizabeth Saladino. Zach Daniel Chiavetta. Jake Simone. Linnea S. Seegers. Madeline Cecilia Sepulveda. Gabrielle Alexandra Smith. Margaret Marie Sullivan. Justin Tavella. Yep. Tiffany Tung. Alexandra M. Valerio. Elaine Yerobi Vasquez. Salvatore Vasallo. Victoria Marcela Velez. Belkis Vera. Benjamin F. Verde. Keisha Watkin. Veronica Rose Weeks. Evelyn Susanna Weinberger. Sarah Elizabeth Werner. Ashley Lorraine Williams. James Patrick Wise. Olivia Woodruff. Who's this? MA? Humanities?
Mr. President, on behalf of the Faculty of Humanities, I now have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Master of Arts.
Ready? Kelsey Taylor Broad. Wendy Jill Seidel Vigru. Ivana Janice Woodard.
It's my pleasure to introduce Assistant Dean of Liberal Arts and Sciences and Director of Liberal Studies and Arts Management and Entrepreneurship, Trudy Milburn.
Mr. President, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Liberal Studies, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science.
Alexandra Helen Sligel. Stephen Ferreris. Jessica Acosta. Toyin Salape Akinbalajo. Kayleen Helene Anders. Alejandro Ayala. Omar Ayala. Melanie Ann Benson. Alexander Jason Blitman. Sebastian Borba Ferreira. Janae Bryce. Lorraine Brimmett Smith. Elvira Bujaj. Michael Nicholas Cambareri. Mary Jernette P. Galarian. Deshaun Can. Kelly Lynn Cassidy. Oriana Amalia Sarud. Lily Chin. Vanessa Clark. Andrew Clark. Francesca Rose Cabuzzi. Jessica Corporan. Audrey Armin Cruz. Zachary Charles Denna. Jonathan Michael Deacon. Demi Marie de Jesus. Kishana Imani Ellison. Amira Zahara Everett. Alexandra Ferrucci. Cassandra Gabriella Feebles. Amber Marie Ferguson. Ralph Fernandez. Christopher Gamboa. Jennifer Gigia. Mariana Moriera Luis. Avery Golston. Haley Noel Gibson. Gabrielle Alexandra Smith. Priscilla Beatriz Godoy. Christina Marie Gonzalez. Robert Grullen. Delilah F. Harris. Marquise Dante Harris. August Horn. Hadil Iqbal. Michael Justin Jackman. Zaina K. Johnson. Ashley Johnson. Christopher James Keenan. Smia Khan. Jonathan Kuriakos. Lily Joan Konis. James Cotrozo. Gabriel Kraus. Madeline Diane Kroll. Kyle Randolph Lamspeberger. Amber Christine Jones. Liz Diamante Tolentino. Anna Bishar Lascari. Lunes Chantal Lucien. Saveza J. Manguel. Yael Aviva Lasky. Ronald P. Manzano. Raditya Lesri. Leo Leonardi. Kevin Lynch. Shannon Nicole Ma. Kylia T. Maddox Langley. Alexa Jordan Mises. Michelle Mancioni. Michael Marger.
Amanda Marie Medina. Omira Mejia. Ryan Mitchell. Chelsea V. Murillo. Brittany Lynn Patterson. Michael Christopher Porco. Charles Ryan Prefor. Tia Marie Reiser. Sean Patrick Rogers. Sabrina Nicole Roth. Alec B. Shafirov. Burim Benny Sinajaj. Got it. Ibrahim Soli. Jesse Luca Spears. Tiata F. Stalamun. Lauren Christie T. Stevens. Avery Ana Torres. Christina Trezino. Sydney Scarlett Sydney Scarlett Uscati Bonilla. Christine Williams. Brendan Grella. Anthony Abanto. Ai Wakamatsu. Kayla Danielle Cartagena. Nicholas Joseph Tuzola. Frank Elise Wilson Woods. Emily M. Word. Jeremy James Altamoro. Matthew Paul Brown. Ronaldo M. Coombs. Victoria Helen Capone Froyo. Daniela Lee Edelson. Austin Edwards. Ikea Brittany Ewing. Gustavo Figueroa. Jacob Corey Glantz. Okay. Hemalika. Aiden Thomas Levins. Molly Rose Libel. Jenna C. Moriello. Harrison James McDonald. Jonathan Mecca. Taylor Montague. Brianna Randy Norford. Camila Andrea Perea. Asia Noelis Rodriguez. Miletha Roman. Rachel Rhoda. Anthony J. Santamoreno. Adam Umanzor. Michael Soto. Samantha Rose Spadaro. Victoria Tanner. Grace Ryan Timmons. Taylor Lindsay Torin. Victoria Ann Ober. Kristen M. Potenza. Ready? Yeah. Jessica R. Warren.
Director for the Conservatory of Music, Jenny Underkoffler, will you help welcome to the stage the degree candidates in music? On behalf of the Faculty of Music, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Music.
Luke Andrew Borkowski. Maestro Distorcia. Nicholas Anthony Cirola. Lydia Adele Brown. Cameron Corella. Francesco Catricala. Cotter Wells Champlin. Jackson Buckner Coe. Matthew Michael Fischetti. Mariah Alacia Gilmore. Therese Marie Giordano. Jason Gostor. Richard Hoth. Luciano Ivanetti. Ethan Brown Jones. Sean Robert Jones. James Laszlo Kirkopoli. Sung-woo Kim. Brian M. Kirk. Michael Kirsty. Joseph Kress. Siwon Lee. Gregory Lorenz. Matthew Marvin. Jason Leo Maurer. Abigail Elizabeth McCarthy. Dennis Mowers. Ian Alexander Napak. Anya D. Brannon. Anaya D. Brannon. Christian J. Nguyen. Alexandra Nalita O'Connell. Nicholas John Olmos. Ryan Michael Pianaccia. Michael Charles Migliori. Jack Redsecker. Kareem Omar Matcham. Matthew Ryan Peralta. Brandon James Roque. Maria S. Kolmietz. Jacob Anderson Rush. Changhum Park. David Sanchez Reyes. Natasha T. Schubel. Jonah J. Senzel. Donald Joseph Sheehan. Benjamin Martin Stein. Gabrielle C. Zoneveld. Brandon Justice Earl Vernon. Brianna Weckerly. Greg Hunter Welcher. Masters.
Mr. President, on behalf of the Faculty of Music, I now have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Master of Music and Performer's Certificate.
Zachary Brown. Eric Michael Hallenbeck. Kristen Kirk. Connor Hill Lane. Keith Dremartin. Taolon Mehmeti. John Miller. Martha Gabriela Rolon de la Pina. Evan Ryan. Unha So. Igli Tuga. Marius Vandenbrink.
Chair of Natural and Social Sciences, Linda Bastone, will you help welcome to the stage the degree candidates in Natural and Social Sciences? Mr. President, on behalf of the Faculty of Natural and Social Sciences, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science.
Isbel Abreu. Jessica E. Agee. Isaac Noel Aguero. Tariq Alakak. Chine Mezu Agu. Vladimir Alexis. Alina Ali. Laura Almonte. Gianni Ambrisiatos. Tommy Anderson. Ana Cristina Antonio. Alexandros Stefanos Baida. Kathleen DeMillo Beach. Lauren Rachel Berline. Selena Yasmin Bermejo Romero. Selena Andrea Bordeaux. Jennifer Renee Buchner. Keith Bergen. Laura Kakovich. Sabrina Cayone. Robert Nicholas Kahl. Haley Casella. Ray Costello. Valeria Andrea Chacon. Christian Hillis Chambers. Hernan Chichi. Charlotte Rose Koch. Lawrence Cook. Kimberly Ann Costello. Shay Coyle. Adam Kozanji. Brian Michael Cunningham. Stephen J. DiFiore. Victoria DiRubba. Kazim A. Janbalich. Brian Joseph Doherty. Devin Joseph Donahue. Alina Dos Santos Oliveria. Lou Dye. Talia Esperton. Anise Jade Falco. Dominic Figueroa. Laura R. Fries. Matthew Peter Valentino Garofalo. Leo Frampton. Joseph Rocco Gahn. Ambar Digna Gil Polanco. Jeffrey Gustavo Gonzalez. Joanna A. Gonzalez. Justin Carter Gonzalez. Laura Jean Papayanakos. Chelsea G. Baltazar. Bianca Maria Cavallo. Caroline Janes. Bree Dudley. Colleen Brianne Goodfield. Kelly Elizabeth Gowan. Rita Gross. Tyler Vaughn Hanchin. Connor Gabriel Hanlon. Courtney Hansen. Nyasia Harris. Joseph Hart. Melissa Herrera Aritza. Angelica A. Howard. Fatima E. Huda. Georgia Ephigenia Humphreys. Nakai Falcon. Natasha Jimenez. Maya Jingles. Yeshi Yangzum Sherpa. Lomtoria Huzanovich. Karen Zeng. Juliana Rose Wilson. Aviva Alana Frank. Danny Smith. Alexis Bieberman. Cassandra Honey. Hallie Amanda Jordan. Eric Samuel German. Nick Kasamis. Radhika Ashwani Kataria. Radhika Ashwani Kataria. Skylar Day Kelleher and friend. Ryan Adrian King. Keyshawn Jamal King. Neil M. Koch. Peter Vanley Kurakos. Tori Lafata. Brian Thomas Lambert. Jacqueline E. Lishak. Idona Lazoria. Austin Lee. Kiani L. Lawrence. Ready? Nicolette D. Lessa. Tanner Willis Lewis. Jobrielle Lewis. Catherine Marie Lopez. Kelly Hayes. Angela Marie Golly. April McIlwain. Liam McMahon. Samuel McKay. Esmeralda Alvarado Michaca. No. Luz A. Medina. Bridget Henderson. Kolnicha Zoria. Leslie Mesa. Justin Michelager. Nawal Mohiuddin. Olivia S. Nieves. Jennifer Marie Miley. Sabi Montoya. Paul A. Morgan. Danielle Moulton. Gabriella Neighbor. Dean Michael Simone. Tatiana Nitis. Kira Ashley O'Connell. Jorge Daniel Olea. Elizabeth Orladini. Lily Arabea Atto. Emily Sophia Patterson. Deandra Carmen Pichardo. Jordan Maya Rayful. Felix Polanco. Grace Emily Parker. Hold one second.
Alexis Suzanne Gordon. Marissa Ann Carpentieri. Matthew Joseph Rebufo. Allison McCloat. Carol Grace Pritchard. Fatima Ayomide Olantsubusun. Allison May Robeson. Loren Roland. Nicole Elizabeth Santa Marina. Stephanie Jane Schooner. Alexandria Teresa Saloni. Nadia Ann Shoddy. Estefania Serrano. Gloria Emily Serrano. Jessica Lynn Silver. Karen Christine Sokolik. Samuel Stuto. Ethan Logan Sua. Jakaya Josefina Telez Pugh. Jonathan Noel Torres. Karen Tedesco Cardoso. Amanda Sang. Julia Leon T. Jake Benjamin Winnig. Matthew Nelson Villalobos. Gregory Walsh. Kamal Williamson. Ashley Wilson. Maria de los Songales Valle. Caitlin White. Kayla Marie Van Houten. Isabella Raubel. William James Yates. Alex Gail Yor Moses. Samantha Lynn Robinson. Sean Sandell. Olivia Sarah Zimmerman. Caroline Frances Brooks. Marissa A. Lahau. Judy Marie Matthew. Baptistela Tavalane Minisi. Johan Orlando Morales. Lena Marcela Ruiz. Arouj Shabir.
Director of Theater Arts, Rebecca Rugg. Will you help welcome to the stage the degree candidates in theater arts? Mr. President, on behalf of the Faculty of Theater Arts, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts and Bachelor of Arts.
Alicia Donnell Carroll. Sean Church. Tina Ann Caricio. Erin Elizabeth Degnan. Ashley Driscoll. Nadia Thayer Duncan. Sydney Deborah Gottsman. Christina Adele Cuoca. Dalton Orlando Grant. Amy Giannis Boone. Sarah Michelle Grillo. Ramsey Christian Heitman. Cedric Martin James. Jessica Karen Jones. Woodrow Daniel Miller. Cache Mumford. Drew Robert Palmer. Autumn S. Blazin Brown. Miranda Irene Lyman. Luke Patrick Wright. Cara Marie Cinchone. Jonathan Ryan Minato. Harmony Rose Fiore. Adam Patrick Brown. Samantha Crowley. Tabitha Elizabeth Rosado. Cornelia Jane Silsby. Lex Alston. Kathleen Margaret Taylor. Emily Ann Rodriguez. Erin Olivia Mickelsich. Austin T. Rio. Jahan F. Ramrup. Robert John Reddington. Marlon L. Riley. Michael Miguel Angel Jorge. Lacey J. Zerlip. Alexandra Tyson. Jeremy Van Suarez. Jacob Aaron Wade. Derek Michael Sherry. Lucas Ryan Yudman. Maya Natalia Robinson. Rachel Aaron Gatewood. Carson Fox Harvey. Colin Richard Henning. Rebecca Jimenez. Ryan Daniel McCormick. Georgia Gabriella Morgan. Zara Hokulea Spalding. Zoleka Wundla. Ariel Caress Hartshorn Hasketh. Liza Jane Ritchie. Haley Hart Franklin. Maya Michelle Carter. Colby Jamal Holman. Thomas Walter Booker. Jada Coleman. Hey. Josh Bell. Clay Freed. Declan Anthony Moore. Casey R. Yokohama. Erin Ruth Lammy. Carolyn Sacripanti. Dylan Liati. Quentin Champito. Margaret Drake. Shannon Emily Houlihan. Mary Caitlin Deffley. Celeste Marie Lannon. Hannah E. Osborne. Aileen Teresa Meyer. Hoon Lee. Katerina B. Chin. Mokshini Gobin. Anyi Refson. Aisha Bano Munshi. Sarah Jane Beery. Sabine Estelle Michaud. Kate Campbell. Daniel Louis Rousseau. Camille Nigel James. Lisa Kissel. Cassidy M. Lilly.
Will all the degree candidates please stand? Mr. President, you have assembled before you the Purchase College degree candidates for 2019. On behalf of the administration, faculty, and staff of the college, I ask that at this time you confer upon them their degrees.
You ready? Let me just say before I do this that the platform party will go down the middle, and we would appreciate if you would let us go out the back door before you join the middle aisle. Thank you. Now, upon the authority vested in me by the Chancellor and the Board of Trustees of the State University of New York, I hereby confer upon you the degrees which you have earned and to which you are entitled. Congratulations, you are now Purchase College graduates and alumni.
those of you who are still in here, we gotta do a little dancing. Congratulations again, here we go. Baby, babe, let's get together. Have a great day and congratulations again.